So the door stops, you always set the door stops based on the pocket, which is the stop to the right. So if we want the center of that pocket 44 inches from the top of the door, we're going to set the stop down. We're going to set the edge of it right at the 44 inches and tighten the bar. So this end was preset at the factory to give you the correct distance between the two stops so that it will center up the faceplate mortise over the deep pocket. If you don't want it centered, if you want it off center, then you can loosen this clamp and move it off. They come set from the factory at 0. If you want the offset to be a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch, then you can set that here to get an offset between the faceplate mortise and the deep pocket. So there are two dimensions to the deep pocket mortise. There's the width that it runs and the depth. To control the depth, we're going to move the sensor target here. We've got a scale, so if you want it 4 inches deep, you set it at 4 inches. If you loosen the thumb screw, you can raise it up to 4, 5, 4.5, lower it down to 3, as you choose. And when the sensor gets to the top of the target, it'll stop the mortise. To control the height of the mortise, or width if you will, you need to adjust down here. You've got a hand wheel that you loosen up here. Then you can turn this knob to adjust how far off center this piece is. The scale on this will read twice as much as you're going. If you move this an inch, you'll get 2 inches of difference at the other end. And lock that down when you've got it at the size you want. You may need to trial and error to adjust that a little bit and then check a dunnage door to see if you've got the right mortise width. Once you get it set, then you can lock it down and it'll keep doing that width. So, two different things. First of all, the machine will not cycle if the door is not clamped in the machine. And secondly, the machine will not cycle if this cover is not closed. And this is the sensor here. It's a red sensor here and a red piece here. These two pieces need to be face to face and clamped together like that for the machine to cycle. So the faceplate mortise assembly over here has basically 3 adjustments. There's the depth, the width, and the length. To adjust the depth, you simply adjust the height of the router underneath, just like you would any standard router. To adjust the width, we have these stop blocks that have different depth notches in them. It comes from the factory set for the 1.25 inch wide. By loosening the Allen bolts here, you can rotate the turrets to a different stop thickness and get it to do narrower mortises, down to 1 inch. To adjust the length this way, we're going to loosen the clamps at both ends of the rods, loosen both of the hand wheels here, and turn the crank to adjust the spacing between this block and this block. The spacing between this block and this block will read exactly the same as the length of the faceplate mortise. Faceplate mortise, it will either cut square with the edge of the door or at an angle. Right now it's set to cut at 3.5 degree angle. If I turn this crank counterclockwise until it stops, then the faceplate will be square with the face of the door. To return it to 3.5 degrees, simply turn it clockwise until it gets to the stop.